Hello again, everyone. Welcome to Washington Gun Law TV. I'm Washington Gun Law President William Kirk. Thanks for joining us. Hey, I know that the jury's still out on the Trump administration and this particular Department of Justice as to whether or not they're truly the champions of the Second Amendment that they claim to be. I think that there's a segment of you out there that no matter what they do, they can't make you happy, and that's fine. You're entitled to your opinion. But there is something going on behind the scenes. I got a little bit of coverage last week. I want to break it all down for you so you can understand just how important this is. Because this particular administration is about to do something that I think will be one of the biggest things to happen in the advancement of Second Amendment rights for a very long time. I'm not making that up. I'll explain what I'm talking about in just a moment. So today, let's spend a few minutes and let's talk about, could this be the biggest gain for the Second Amendment in our nation's history? Okay, everyone. Hey, listen, before we get going too far down the road we're going down, I want to let everyone know that I did all the research for this video. Where? That's right, at GroundNews. Visit them today at ground.news/Washington and learn how the mainstream media can actually treat you like a big boy and big girl and just give you all the stuff to think about without trying to tell you how to think. More importantly, you ever wonder what the other side thinks or where they're coming from? You should really check out the blind spot feature there, which allows you to take a look at stories that are predominantly being reported by one side of the political spectrum, and it really helps you understand where the other side is coming from, and it helps you put together arguments to explain why oftentimes they are wrong. Listen, right now you can get 40% off a Vantage Plan if you just go to ground.news/Washington, or you just scan that QR code right there, and that will unlock all the features that GroundNews has to offer. Listen, if you're finally ready to be treated like a big boy or big girl by media, then just go to ground.news/Washington and check them out today. Okay, America, what we are talking about today probably does not affect most of you that watch this channel. But it does affect people that you know. They may be relatives, they may be buddies, they may be neighbors, coworkers, whatever. But I'm talking about the people who have old felony convictions who, because of what state they're in and things like that, there is no ability to actually restore their Second Amendment rights. And I'm talking about people who got rung up on a simple felony drug possession maybe 35 years ago or things like that. Or people such as Mr. Range in Range versus Attorney General of the United States, who was convicted of food stamp fraud like 30 plus years ago. Many of these people cannot, in fact, get their rights restored. Now, believe it or not, there actually is a statute where the federal government can weigh in, at least on the federal side of things, because the thing you need to understand about restoring gun rights is there's two hoops to jump through. Number one, you got to restore them in the state that actually took them from you to begin with, okay? So if you got convicted of a felony in California, you've got to go get your rights restored by the state of California. In addition to that, you also have to get them restored on the federal level. If you fail to do the second thing, you may have a piece of paper that says you're restored under your state, but when you go to buy a gun, you're never going to pass a background check because you've never been cleared out of the federal system. The ability to clear a lot of people out of the federal system has been next to impossible, even though 18 United States Code Section 925 subsection C specifically provides a mechanism by which the Attorney General can receive applications, review them, and then determine whether or not the people should be given their Second Amendment rights back. But what a lot of people don't know is way back in the early 90s when Bill Clinton was in the White House, they, through appropriations, defunded everything that the Attorney General needed to actually enforce and use 925C. And despite the fact that there have been Republicans in the White House since then, not a single one of them has ever bothered to address this issue. Not until this particular Department of Justice has actually gotten 18 United States Code Section 925C refunded, which means there is now a method for many of you out there to apply to the United States Attorney General's office to get your rights restored on a federal level. Remember, you're still going to have to clear everything on the state level also. Okay, first question. Does this mean everybody who's got a felony conviction? No, not at all. First of all, there are certain offenses, probably your Class A felonies, what are defined as most serious offenses, where in all likelihood, not only on your state level, but also according to this new federal rulemaking order here, yeah, you're not coming back from those, okay? So for all the people who are freaking out that the Trump administration suddenly wants to rearm a bunch of very, very serious, violent criminals, most of them are not, in fact, going to qualify for this restoration process. But there's other problems, and these might not be as serious, comparatively speaking. Fugitives from justice. If you are out currently on a warrant, forget about it. You're not going to be able to apply. Unlawful users of controlled substance. This is going to be a big problem here, okay? 18 United States Code Section 922G3, it still lives. And unfortunately, this rule may not help many of you. And then finally, those subject to domestic violence restraining orders, 18 United States Code Section 922G8. What did you expect following Rahimi? If you are not a citizen of the United States, sorry, you don't get to play. We're not going to restore your rights because, as the Attorney General's office correctly points out, you are not part of the people. But again, for a lot of the more minor offenses, property crimes, and things such as that, there is a path. Now, if you've been convicted of a violent offense, you're going to be waiting at least 10 years before you can start this restoration process. If you've been convicted for some offense not deemed a violent offense, you are waiting at least 5 years. And of course, that is either 10 years or 5 years of crime-free behavior. But understand, America, this is not going to be a real black and white issue. It will be in some instances, but for many instances, it's going to be various shades of gray. Because one of the things that 925C specifically mandates the Attorney General to consider is relief will not be likely to act in a manner dangerous to public safety, and that it would not be contrary to the public interest to have them regain their rights. And so the Attorney General's office is claiming at the time, now whether they have the resources and the time and the energy to do this, that they're going to take a much more holistic approach. They're going to take a look at the panoply of criminal background, uncharged offenses, and they will, yes, be willing to take a look at information submitted by the petitioner that shows that, you know, they've changed. And this does happen. As a criminal defense attorney, I can tell you that I know people from 10, 15 years ago who are radically and much better people today. Okay, now the application fee is going to be $20. The onus is going to be on the petitioner to put all of this together. And yes, you will need to obtain 3 separate character reference letters that are signed under penalty of perjury, stating that you do not engage in any kind of behavior that would make you dangerous by having access to firearms. Any other criminal records, Department of Justice records, treatment records, military history, or anything else that you believe the DOJ should consider in making this determination can also be included in that petition. And of course, there are limitations, and the biggest limitation that you need to understand about it is this. This applies to only getting your rights restored on a federal level. You will still have to deal with the state or states also responsible for taking your Second Amendment rights. So if you were convicted in Kentucky and Louisiana felonies, you're going to have 2 states plus the federal government to deal with in order to properly and completely restore your firearm rights. Now, is this ready to go right now? No, it is not. The rule has just been published. There will be a comment period. The rule will not be effective for at least another 90 days. And candidly, not all the funding necessary for this has totally been addressed. And so there is more battles to have in appropriations. So it is entirely possible that, as grandiose as this plan is, if they don't have the funding to implement it, we're going to go right back to square one. But America, I want you to understand that this is a huge move, and here's why. We believe that an armed society is a plight society. And I have said time and time and time again that America does not need more gun owners. What America needs is a lot more lawful and responsible gun owners. And it has been my experience that these people who have turned over a new leaf in their life, who have done a 180 with their life, and have, whether they found God or they found some other motivation to get their you-know-what together, oftentimes turn out to be some of the most lawful, responsible individuals moving forward. And their lives are worth saving just as much as any of ours. And for that reason, when they have proven to us that they have changed the errors of their ways, where they are going to be contributing members of society, then they should have the ability and the right to defend their lives and their loved ones in the exact same fashion that all of us have. This will increase the number of lawful and responsible gun owners in the United States of America and will ultimately make this country a better place. Listen, we're going to go ahead and link up everything that the DOJ posted on their website so you can geek out on it for yourself. You don't have to take our word for it. If you got any questions about this or anything else related to what's left of our Second Amendment rights, you guys should know how to get a hold of Washington gun law by now. But if you don't, that's okay. That information down there in the description box. If you got an idea for a video we should be doing around here, you click on that link right there and you tell us all about it. If you want to subscribe to the monthly newsletter, the ability to do that is down there in the description box. And then finally, and most importantly, America, let's everyone remember that part of being a lawful and responsible gun owner, like we talk about all the time here, is to know what the law is in every situation and how it applies to you in any instance that you may find yourself. Until next time, thanks for watching and stay safe.